TC Backer, TC Backer.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Chris Baker.
And I'm Ty Backer.
Welcome to Behind the Tool Belt with TC Backer Construction. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to go over, by the way, it's episode 76 in case anyone's keeping track here. We're going to go over a birthday that we have with one of our co-workers here. We're going to be talking about the first annual TC Backer food drive that's going to be benefiting the Well and the Union Lutheran Church down in York. Mm-hmm. Pastor Joel does a lot for us. We try to do a lot for them. That's coming up. That's approaching real quick, man.
Yeah,
a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, June 17th. Yep,
So,
June 17th.
If anyone needs any kind of info, please reach out to us.
Right. Go on our website.
Yeah.
It'll pop up on our website. Reach out to us at the shop. Text us, message us, whatever. There have been some local businesses that have participated. Jeremy and Chris Bender with Retail Ready, Roof Ready, Rent Ready had donated some non-perishables. Jim Hankey with Bobcat actually donated a significant amount of cash to the cause. Glenn, Gio, I think Tyler had pitched in for the cause. Several other people I think have donated too. People have been dropping stuff off at the office, and so what we plan on doing is whatever cash that we collect, TC Backer will match whatever cash, and then I think Tina ran down or called Dottie's. So Dottie's is willing to participate in letting us go down there and shop for the things that we need, the peanut butter and all those good things, peanut butter jelly, mashed potatoes. I don't even know why I thought of that till right now, but mashed potatoes would be a good one.
Would be box mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. All kinds of stuff, mac and cheese, any canned foods, fruit, vegetables, all that good stuff. But we're super excited about it. We're getting actually a lot of traction. York Builders Association is participating. They actually have a collection box there that they've been collecting. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to Jim Hankey at Bobcat. Big shout out to awesome. Chris and Jeremy Bender so far. I'm trying to think of who else. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. But
I know we've had some employees, Gio, Glenn, I think Chuck.
Exactly.
There's been a couple guys in the shop that have donated some cash to the cause.
Right.
So I mean, it's really cool seeing everyone pull together. It's why we do it.
Exactly.
It benefits and it gets all the camaraderie and gets everyone pulling together for a single cause. So,
exactly.
Salute to you guys, everyone that's participating. If anyone needs any kind of info, like Ty said, you can hop on our website, hop on our Facebook page, reach out to one of us. We can get you any info, get you a flyer, any local businesses. Anyone. We can always come out and pick stuff up. You can drop stuff off at our shop.
Absolutely.
And then we're starting to get a nice collection out in the office there.
Yeah, man, for real.
I was in there this morning.
David KX. David, if you're out there, thank you and Lewis. We should have brought Lewis's mugs on and showed everybody.
We should have.
Yeah, next week, Lewis. We'll give you a big shout out.
Super dope, man. My kids and my girl are super jealous of that. It's really awesome. I really appreciate you going out of your way to do that for us, man. It's really awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And then, but big shout out to David KX and Lewis and Allied Maintenance. They have also donated several items for the food drive as well. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for always tuning in every week, being a big supporter of TC Backer and the family. David Bruno, good to see you, brother. Thanks for coming to visit us today. David was there for a while today at the shop. Yeah, we hung out and talked about all kinds of good stuff, business and personal stuff and business stuff and, the future and how we can maybe partner up and take on the world together. So thank you for coming out and sharing your experience, strength, and hope with me today. So I really appreciate that. You're more than welcome to come to the shop at any time. So hope to see you on the golf course with your new shirt and your visor that you received today.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Today we're going to be talking a little bit about ice and water shield. Storm season, if you guys haven't noticed, is upon us. We're going to be getting, it's typical to be having these storms at the end of the day. Every day it's super hot and humid and muggy outside. So usually gets followed up with a nice storm at the end of the day. Make sure you guys are taking a look after these storms. Check your shingles out, check your roof out, check your siding out. Make sure you don't have any storm damage. If you have a super tall roof or you got trees or something like that around that you can't really see anything, give us a shout. We can come out and check it out for you. We do free estimates and stuff. So this is the season. This is the season. So,
it is absolutely the season.
I know we're getting quite a few repair calls and we're not going to come out and sell you a roof.
No.
If you need a roof, we'll sell you a roof.
But
that's not our motto there.
Exactly.
That's not our game plan. If we can come out and just fix a shingle, we're going to fix a shingle. So,
absolutely. Yeah, we do all different types of repairs, whether it be, shingle misplacements, ridge vent blow-offs, fascia. We actually, with all the wind and high rain and the driving rain, there has been a lot of service calls, and we have a full-fledged service department that handles those types of repairs, whether it be old roof boots, which we went over last week and the week before.
Yeah.
We had a part 1 and 2 about good roof flashing and roof boots and things of that nature. So it's important to get your roof inspected. We do what's called a roof tune-up. I think it's $149.99 for several different items that we cover, along with a free roof assessment of your entire exterior of your property. We also have a gutter tune-up, or you can get both of them for a combined price. Go on our website, check it out, sign up, give us a call. We'll come out, we'll hook you up, give us a shout. You don't always need a new roof.
And what else do you get with that? You also get something when you do one of those tune-ups.
Right, good point. Good point. So you'll also get obviously the free assessment, free report of your house, and then along with that you'll get a $500 gift card towards your next project with TC Backer Construction of $2,500 or more, or you can actually give it to your friend, your neighbor, a relative. You don't actually have to use the coupon. So the value that you get out of the entire package,
it's over $1,000.
Yes.
Your assessment's usually about $500 to get the actual. We're not just going to come out and word for word, verbally tell you what's wrong with your roof. You're going to get a report.
Yes.
You're going to get a report, the pictures, everything that you need in order to get any kind of work done. You're going to have that. You'll get the tune-up, any kind of damage that comes with that tune-up that gets fixed, roof boots.
Absolutely.
It comes with a certain amount of shingles, fixes, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There is some fine print to that. If we come up there and, we got to replace 3 bundles of shingles because you got stuff all over, there might be a little bit added charge. But for just a regular tune-up, you're talking, it's over $1,000 in value.
Yeah, it's 8 to 10 items that we cover. If you go on our website, it's very detailed on the things that we cover with the roof tune-up and the gutter tune-ups. It is a good deal. When I had mentioned it to John over at Flash Ave, who helps us with our website and marketing, he looked at me and was like, "Dude, are you sure you want to do it? You should be asking more money for all of the things that you're covering." It's like, no, man, it's not. That's not really what it's about. What it's about is to develop a relationship with the community, try to take care of the community in hopes that maybe we'll get a referral in return.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's the ulterior motive there, is that, for a referral plus with the $500 coupon up to $2,500 project, that's what it's really about. Have us come out, take a look at your roof. There is fine print, but not really. Of course, if we got to reflash your whole entire chimney, we're not going to do that without giving you the full report first, showing you what the problem is. See, and that's the thing that we want to do. We want to take care of your roof. We want to find out what the problem is and fix it, and not just come out and put a roof on your house.
Right. Especially if you're living in a house that was built in, the mid 2000s. If you got a house that was built in 2008, 2009. Something like that. You shouldn't necessarily need a roof right now. So if we're coming out to assess you for a new roof, there's got to be a reason for that.
Right.
I mean, the shingles aren't bad at that point. Aren't bad. You know, you're not needing it because
No.
of the age of the roof.
Not necessarily, and this is the other thing. A lot of storm damage you can't see from the ground.
Right.
You may have severe storm damage, don't even know it, and then have lost 15 years of the roof's life expectancy.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which would be covered by your insurance company, and we can walk you through that
Yeah.
process.
Prime example. We had a leak that came in the other day in the service department down in Maryland. We sent a tech out. Guy gets up on the roof, and there was storm damage. It wasn't a blown off shingle.
Right.
It was a shingle that I'm guessing when I talked to the warranty supervisor, my professional opinion was before the shingles got a chance to seal, there was a mild windstorm. The shingle flapped.
Yep.
And just like a piece of metal, guys, if you've ever bent a piece of metal over and over and over and over again, eventually that bend point gets weak.
Yes.
And what happened was the shingle ended up sitting down and sealing, but you got a crease
Yes.
where all the granules are taken off.
Right. The mat's
and-
exposed.
Yeah, the mat's exposed, and
Right.
water, when it leaks down through there, it is going to take some water, and not a lot, not the
Right.
same as a hole.
Right.
But I've actually been in an attic where there was a little tiny pinhole, about a size of a nail hole, in the wood,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And if you guys ever noticed, if you're in your house and you open and close your downstairs door, your doors upstairs will
Yeah, like
almost
air
like
pressure.
from
Yeah.
air pressure.
Right.
Well, what happens when you do that? If there's water sitting on that little pinhole,
Yeah.
it's going to spit. It's
Yes.
it's almost going to look like a squirt gun every
Yes.
time you open and close your door.
Yes.
So just a little tiny hole like that, you wouldn't think that it would get a lot of water in.
Right.
But you know your house is breathes.
Right.
So when you open and close, you're changing the air pressure. It's sucking water in.
Exactly. And what happens because of that crack? Water runs over that crack and through the crack, then underneath the shingle, then runs across the nail head.
Right.
Is what happens. And this could be a leak that you could be chasing for months or for years
Yes.
if you don't have the experience to be able to find a leak.
Yes.
I mean, how often have we come across the leak where, you know, we get to the homeowner's house, they're like, man, I've had 3 different people out here.
Mm-hmm.
We've been chasing this leak for 3 years. You guys come out within 3 hours. You figured it out. You fixed it.
Yeah.
You know, and it goes
Do you remember
away.
that leak that we did on Christmas Eve? Me, you, and Bob went up on that roof.
Yes.
On Christmas Eve, and we had this area all torn off. It was like a 10-foot by probably 10-foot area that we tore off, and we're like, it has to be here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the leak ended up being like 15-foot diagonal this way.
Yes.
On some pump jack holes, and it's just the way that it took the
Yes.
the plywood seam route.
Yes,
It
right.
ran down
The
into
least
this
point
area.
of resistance.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's crazy.
it's not always, you know, if you got a leak right here, it's not always directly above that.
Exactly.
Water takes the path of least resistance.
Exactly.
And, you know, just having that little crease in your shingle, you're never going to see that from the ground.
Right.
You
No.
will never see that from the ground.
No.
Especially, you know, maybe a rancher.
Right.
Maybe if you got a rancher and you can, you know, you get some binoculars out, you might be able to see it. But
Maybe.
some of these are so hard to see, especially because a lot of times where the crease is, it's right at the edge of where the next shingle up sits.
Yes.
So that's almost just going to look like a shadow from,
Yes.
from the next shingle up.
Almost impossible to see
So
from the ground.
super
for
important.
sure.
Storm season's upon us. Make sure you guys are checking that stuff out. If you think that you might have some kind of storm damage, reach out to us, and we'll come out and check it out. I know we've been getting some pretty nasty ones in here at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Today was a good one, man.
Right. It seems like it's been raining at least once a day for at least 7, 10, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what
Yep.
I mean? And some of those storms that come rolling through, you know, come with high winds, driving rain, and you may experience a leak that you've never experienced before because of the way that the direction that the rain and the wind is blowing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But theoretically, I would think that your roof should never leak because I've heard people say, it probably will never leak again. It was only the way that the wind was blowing.
Right.
But technically, if the roof system was installed correctly, you shouldn't get a leak no matter which way the wind's blowing or,
Right.
or the way the rain is driving.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
So,
correct.
Yeah,
If
that's
you have
just my
everything
opinion.
sealed properly,
Yes, exactly.
it shouldn't do that.
Right.
And a lot of the work is done underneath. You know, the same with sodding. You know, sodding isn't meant to keep water out.
Right.
It's all the work that's done underneath: the flashing, the tape, the ice and water shield, the paper, the synthetic felt. You know,
Exactly.
like all that stuff combined.
Right.
Is what makes your roof system
Right. Yeah.
waterproof.
Absolutely.
You know, so you're missing one of those components, and you're gonna be susceptible to leaks somewhere.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
So that's probably a good leeway into what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about ice and water shield. And if you guys remember from the last couple videos, we've been really focusing on roofing stuff here lately. The last couple videos we've been talking about ice and water shield needs to go 24 inches inside your warm wall. And what that means is if you ever look at the eave of your house, and the eave of your house is down at your gutter line, so the bottom of your roof, that's called the eave, and you usually have a 1 to 2 foot soffit area
Right.
that overhangs where your actual wall is for
Right.
your house. The warm wall, that's called the warm wall.
Yeah.
So you want to go 24 inches in
Yep.
past that warm wall.
Yes,
to
inside
prevent
inside
yes.
your drywall, 24 inches in past your drywall.
Right. So a lot of times in layman terms, what that's going to mean is usually around 54 inches is what that's going to be.
Roughly depends upon the geometry
Yeah.
of it. Your roof pitch, how long
Correct.
your eave is.
Correct.
So it could potentially be up to 3/4 of 36-inch
Yeah.
ice and water.
Yep. Yep.
But
exactly.
typically, two courses, 6
Two
feet.
courses is
yeah,
usually
like you
enough.
said,
Yep.
54 inches or so should give you 24 inches inside the warm wall.
Right.
Hey Tabitha, thanks for
Yeah.
checking in tonight.
What's going on, Chuck? How you doing, buddy?
Diane Brooks, good evening.
So yeah, it's very important. One of the reasons that it's important is because of the driving rains and
Yeah, right.
storms and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, people don't get up and do the homeowner maintenance on the gutters and
Right.
that kind of stuff, so they can backflow. If you get gutters that are full, they overflow, roll back, and they can get up underneath the starters and all that stuff,
Absolutely.
and leak up underneath there.
Look, if the fascia is not installed properly, the drip edge, the ice and water, the whole system, and if the gutters aren't installed correctly either,
Right.
like you said, it can backwash and create damage, rot to your fascia board, rot to the edge of your eave, all sorts of things. If the whole entire system isn't installed correctly, and like Chris said, this is a good segue. We have a short video that we can watch at some
Yeah.
point in time to kind of give you the gist of like what is ice and water. We have a few samples here, but me being me, I like a visual, so we thought it would be kind of cool to kind of run a short video. We'll kind of talk you through it, and then we'll probably pop up some pictures of what ice damming is,
Yeah.
what good ventilation opposed to bad ventilation opposed to no insulation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which will give us a good segue into next week's episode, which we'll be covering ventilation and insulation.
Yeah, and that's
So-
that's a good one, man. We got a lot of good pictures and stuff of bad, because that's honestly probably the biggest reason why we have to replace roofs is poor ventilation.
Yes, poor ventilation. Jim,
Shout out Wayne Scott. What's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Yeah, man. Good to see you, brother.
So yeah, one of the big reasons that the differences between your regular synthetic felt and felt paper and ice and water shield is, I'm just going to show you guys one of these samples right here. If you guys can notice, this is actually like granular. This almost looks like a shingle. It's rough. It's got almost like sand on it, and it has this backing. It's almost like a tape backing. And let me see if I can get this peeled here.
Yeah.
It actually peels off. I had one corner started when I got in here because I knew that this was going to be a problem. Bear with me, guys. Once you get it started, it comes off easy.
Sometimes.
Non-fingernails.
Depends on how hot it is.
Yeah. So this stuff right here is sticky, okay? And when you put this down, it adheres to the decking. And the other cool thing about this is this heats up and almost doesn't liquefy, but it gets soft. And when you drive your staples through this or your cap nails, this will actually seal around them.
Absolutely.
So any kind of holes that are made in this, it'll, oh man, it's making a mess. It'll reseal
Right.
all around it. So
From your roofing nails to the way that you attach it or fasten it to the roof, either it be staples, cap nails. It's designed for it to seal around the nails. It's designed to be installed, on low slope roofs, around
Yes.
chimneys, pipe boots. This short little video that we're getting ready to watch will actually show you a low slope roof and a chimney. A good I think demonstration of
Yeah.
low slope
Yeah.
application and an application around the chimney. So here we go. We're gonna start this
we'll pop
off.
this on here real quick, and we're
Yeah.
going to kind of narrate this. We're keeping their sound off it because we want to give you guys our scoop on what's going on
That's
here.
right.
We'll get this uploaded on the screen here for you guys.
Shortly here. That's all right, brother. We got all the time in the world.
How's everyone doing tonight? Thanks for everyone for tuning in.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you. So this is actually off of our GAF learning portal. They have almost like a learning academy. Well, it's called a learning academy. It's almost like a school that we are provided by GAF to make sure that all of our guys stay up to date in training. And there's a lot of industries out there that once you get in the industry, the work doesn't stop. You constantly got to educate yourself, stay up to date on codes, any new products that come out, new applications. Because let's face it, we're in the age where people are constantly trying to perfect everything and be more efficient and figure out better ways to do things.
Absolutely.
So what works yesterday might not work tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Or it may still work, but there may be a more efficient, better way to do it.
Absolutely.
So you got to constantly keep training
Yes,
yourself.
like you said, the technology continues to keep changing, and when we bring on a new hire, that's what this is so important for. Is the training that GAF provides us. We wouldn't even have this video if it wasn't for GAF.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a simple little learning port that we can go into and check it out and figure out how we can use this product, the areas that we're supposed to use this product in, and so we can give the full warranty of the product.
Right.
Because it's installed correctly.
Yes.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, we have several people getting ready to start, one in about 4 weeks, one in about 2 weeks. So we're going to get them together a learning portal that they can log into every day, actually be like little quizzes and tests and things of that nature. And like Chris, like you said, this is part of that.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be a quick little 2-3 minute little video here.
Yeah.
From GAF.
Yeah. So that's basically showing you the synthetic felt and where the ice and water shield is run. This is going to kind of go into why. This is a low slope roof right here. The guy's fastening on the edge where you're actually going to overlap the next run of ice and water shield. And this is just kind of showing all the work that needs to go into when you don't run ice and water shield properly.
Absolutely. Skylights around chimneys.
Yep.
Lower slope roofs, up along the rake edge, up along the ridge, all of those areas that would need special attention. You would use this product here. And then what this is a low slope application right here. I wouldn't install this under a 312 pitch. I believe they say 2 to 4. But typically we try to stay right around 3. If not, we would go with an EPDM rubber roofing on that system there. So this is one of those situations you want a nice clean surface in order to apply this.
Right. You stick it on a dirty surface, it's just going to stick to the dirt.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they're taking that down. On this particular surface right here, they're probably going to cover this entire thing in ice and water shield.
Yes.
That actual practice, I would probably be putting an EPDM roof on that.
I would. But of course, we don't know what the roof pitch is.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly they're installing.
And it must be per manufacturer specs because this is from the GAF.
GAF wouldn't have this on their thing if they weren't doing something.
And you see how he's using cap nails.
Yep.
You want to nail them about 18 inches apart, no more than 18 inches apart. And you see that he's doing another row there with 3-inch overlap, and then they're going to stagger their seams.
Yep.
And that'll be a 6-inch overlap, side to side.
And notice how he's rolling that, almost like rubber roofing. You want to roll that seam so that it gets a nice adhesion there.
Exactly.
And this is the main reason for it, guys. The snow load and the ice damming on the eaves.
Yes.
And we're going to, after this video, bring up some nice diagrams to show you exactly what ice damming is.
Right.
For anyone that doesn't know that, it gives you a real good visualization of how that's caused. The main culprits for leaks, if you don't have ice and water around your penetrations, in your valleys, around your chimneys, that kind of stuff, that's a huge culprit for leaks, man.
Absolutely. Driving rain, ice damming, all sorts of things.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a cool little video. That's actually showing you a 2-square roll, 2.0.
Yeah, it comes in 1 square and 2 square rolls.
Yep. 1.5. Actually.
1.5. Yeah, you're right. 1.5.
Yep. Not sure why WeatherWatch GAF brand does that, but there's a 2.0 and a 1.5.
So do you want to hop right into this, right into the ice damming? Let's pull that up. We're going to show you guys and talk about what exactly ice damming is. For the long story short here, ice damming is basically where you have ice that creates a dam at the end of your roof and backs water, which refreezes and melts and refreezes and works its way like a reverse icicle up underneath your shingles.
Absolutely.
This picture here that Todd's about to bring up, this is a prime example right here. And that doesn't necessarily have to, that meltwater that you're seeing right there, that doesn't have to refreeze, because if you think about it, water's going to level out in that area
Right.
and work its way up underneath the shingles, go in nail holes, go between the shingles.
Absolutely.
It's going to work its way in there. So if you don't have ice and water shield in there, it's going to work its way through
Right.
the nails
It
and
backs-
through the staples,
right.
because it's not sealed.
Exactly. It backs itself up in here. It's almost like you said, see this icicle here? It almost has the reverse effect where it's pushing up under your shingles and then creating this mess here and here. So if you have ice and water 24 inches inside your warm wall, you would need ice and water, that much ice and water. And this is your warm wall here. This is your warm wall.
Dude, you should be a sports broadcaster with all these.
Yeah?
You know
like that?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. You like that? I do this all day long.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't do nothing. This is all I do.
You got a little Madden in you right there,
Thank
man.
you, brother. Thank you. I had to make myself a mouse pad here. That's why I'm holding,
Yeah, man.
holding our flyer here, because like I was trying to draw. I practiced for about 2.3 seconds
Yeah.
before the show here, and it was like, man, I couldn't get my mouse to slide right. And I was like, man, they're gonna think I'm drunk or something.
That looks
But-
like the flea flicker post screen right there,
Right,
man.
right. That's one of my whiteboard talks right there, man. I got this shit down to a science, man. I mean, goddamn right.
We're gonna pull up another one here,
Ooh,
guys, because
here's a good one.
it's not necessarily just the reverse, just the weather itself. A lot of times
Right.
it also has to do with what's inside your roof as well.
Right. So
There's a good one right there.
So what this is ice damming here, and probably what's creating all of these icicles here is the lack of. Oops, my picture shrunk. But these icicles here, what happened there was, oops, cancel. I was on a roll there, but there's lack of. They're losing heat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is what's happening there. So with them losing heat through their roof, that's creating the snow to melt and then accumulating down at the gutter.
Right.
So your gutter essentially acts like an ice dam at
Yes.
times, especially if you don't have them cleaned, like you
Yes.
were talking about earlier. It would backwash. Basically, this is what's happening is they're losing heat, and it's creating an ice dam
Yeah.
situation like that.
A very, very good way to find out if your house and your roof and your attic is working the way that it should. During the seasons, you should be able to go in your attic and it should not be comfortable in there.
No.
If it's cold outside, it should be extremely cold in your attic.
Right.
If it's hot outside, it should be extremely hot in your attic. You shouldn't be able to go up in your attic and have it be the same temperature as the inside of your house.
No, absolutely not.
That's
You-
very bad. That means you're losing heat. You're not
And
efficient.
this here's a very good diagram, okay, of what Chris was talking about. Okay, so if you notice, there's temperatures over here, and we're gonna jump off the topic here real quick. But this says 35 degrees, okay, and it's 0 degrees outside. Okay, so down here on this other diagram, this says 0 degrees inside the attic and 0 degrees outside the attic, which would actually be the outside temperature.
Yeah. You guys
Okay.
notice what's different between these two pictures here? Anyone
Yes.
wants to comment on that?
Right.
We're going to tell you anyways if you don't know.
Yeah.
But if you notice on the bottom picture, there's a ridge vent on there. And it's allowing the air to come up. There's a ridge vent and soffit down at the bottom. So it's got an intake at the bottom, and it's got an exhaust up at the top. The top one doesn't have that. It's all closed off, and your roof system is not working together. It's not going to work right. Your roof is actually going to rot from the inside out.
Absolutely, because what you want is you want your attic space to be the same temperature as it is outside. Hence, having said that, now if it's 100 degrees outside, you really don't want your attic space above 80 degrees. That's why you want that fresh air. Mm-hmm. That fresh air intake and that exhaust through your ridge vent. Okay,
Right.
so you may even need to invest in if the temperatures, because it'll still bake, even if you have proper ventilation and intake, there's a good chance that your shingles could still bake from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens. That's how you lose the life expectancy of your shingles, is because basically they're baking from the inside out.
Right.
So what you want to try to do is keep the inside of your attic the same temperature as it is outside. And you may want to invest in one of those
attic fans.
a thermostat
Yep.
powered
It's an attic fan.
Yeah, attic
Basically, what that does, what he's talking about is there's fans that you can install inside your attic that have a built-in thermometer in them that you can set to a temperature.
Yes.
When it goes above that temperature, the fan will kick on and circulate that air
Right.
up inside there.
It'll draw it out.
Yeah, it'll draw air up through your soffit and push air out your exhaust,
Absolutely.
your ridge vent.
Absolutely.
So they're really great. We can install those.
Right.
There are a lot of houses here that we've done recently that actually have them in them.
Right. Exactly.
You see them a lot in some of the older ranchers too.
Right, right. And speaking of not having the proper ventilation or insulation, so insulation is a totally separate topic, but it also goes along with the life expectancy of your roof.
Right.
Okay. If you don't have the proper insulation, like these pictures here both show pretty good insulation in this house here. So what happens is if you didn't have insulation here, you'd be losing heat. Okay. And then what would happen is it would create condensation because of the cold air that's in here. Okay, it's 35 degrees. Inside of your house is 72 degrees. That 72 degrees is hitting that 35 degree temperature up in your attic space, and then it's creating condensation. Okay, I've actually seen it where people have thought that they had a roof leak because what's happening is there's frost creating on the bottom of the sheeting. And icicles actually forming on the nails. The shafts of the nails are creating icicles. Well, then it warms up.
Yeah.
Okay, so because overnight it cools off up there, the air condensates, it creates frost, things get frozen, then it heats back up there, and then it appears to be a roof leak when it's really not a roof leak. What it is that they're losing their heat, they're losing energy due to poor insulation, which coincides with the ventilation too.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so important that you could save hundreds of thousands of dollars just because of two simple things.
Yeah.
Proper ventilation, intake and exhaust, and proper insulation.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and the other thing is you may walk outside and see, I got soffit, I got ridge vent, I got insulation in my attic, I'm good.
Right.
Not necessarily. If
Right.
you don't have baffles down there,
Right.
You're
Now-
now the soffit is basically, you might as well just cover that in solid wood because
Right.
it's not taking any air.
Right. And the number one myth too, gable vents.
Yep.
People are like, oh no, we don't need that. We can have solid soffits. We can have a closed off ridge vent. Okay. That's true. It's great. But the only time that's going to vent is when you get a crosswind with wind blowing through, and then from that point. So let me show another little demonstration here of what's not venting and what may vent. So let's say your gable vent is right here. Okay, your gable vent's here. So the only thing that's going to vent is this area here, the whole way across the peak. None of this area here is going to be ventilated. Okay.
Yep.
You don't have your intake and your exhaust at that point in time. So your roof is fully not ventilating. You're getting air circulation, but there's no intake and no exhaust.
Right.
So if you have gable vents and a roofing company came in and they said, hey, you got gable vents, you're good. Or let's say you have gable vents, you had a roofing contractor come in who gave you ventilated soffit or E-vent and cut open your ridge and gave you ridge vent and kept your gable vents open. That's probably one of the biggest no-nos that you could possibly do, because what happens is now you're getting that cross breeze. You're getting that cross breeze that comes in your gable vent, and this air down here doesn't know what to do. It's just doing this. So now you're not getting your intake and your exhaust. So what you need to do is get rid of the gable vent. If you're going to have a properly installed roof with proper ventilation, you need to get rid of your gable vent.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Giving all kinds of free nuggets out here,
Yeah, man.
guys.
I love this stuff. This is my stuff, man. We got a couple other pictures here. Let me see. You want to talk a little more about ice and water? I think Vic loaded us up. A pretty good ice and water picture here of an area that should get ice and water. Blow this up a little bit. So there's some eaves.
Yeah. What you're seeing here, guys, is at the bottom there, the 90-degree angle black that you see there is the bottom of a valley there. You want to go 24 inches inside your warm wall there. It doesn't look like they have any soffit. That almost looks like it just ends I can't tell from that
It's
picture.
it's a bad mock-up.
Yeah, but then you want to have a row of ice and water down through your valley too, and that's where you have two roof angles that meet together, and then up at the top there you see they have that running the whole way up to the ridge up there.
Yep.
And like Ty said, it may not even be a bad idea to have ice and water up at your ridge vent too.
Yeah, absolutely. That one quick video that we watched, you saw them tearing that sheeting off along the ridge, and you saw the water stains.
Yep.
That's from snow and ice probably
Yep.
sitting along in the ridge vent
Right.
there. And if it was installed, it depends on the ridge vent. If
Yeah.
it was that aluminum, I imagine that house probably had aluminum ridge vent on it.
all exposed nails.
Yes, all exposed nails, you know, and with the Cobra vent, the rolled or the Snow Country ridge vent from GAF alleviates that worry of snow blowing in, snow setting on it. It's designed to keep it out, but
Right.
yet still get the proper ventilation that is required
Yes.
per square footage of your attic space.
Yes.
Yep. Yep, good stuff, man. I love this topic. I could talk about this stuff for days. So, let's see what else Vic loaded us up here with. There's another, right here. I think they're talking a little bit about, what is this here? Water gets trapped behind the ice dam. Yep. Attic heat melts the snow, which refreezes as ice. So this is actually a cutout from GAF, their website here. So what's happening here is this area here, and when I go to create and probably draw on this thing, it's going to shrink this picture up, but I still got to do this. Hopefully, nope. But anyhow, so what they're showing here is this area right here has no insulation in it, and this is the heat loss coming up through here, which is creating all of this to melt. So one thing to watch out for this winter, if your house still has snow on it and your neighbor's doesn't, that means they have heat loss, okay? If you still don't have snow in your house and your neighbor still has snow in their house, that means you have heat loss. That's one of the biggest indicators out there. Or you'll see certain areas of your house that
Right.
has lost the snow already,
Right.
that seems to melt already. Well, I would go up in your attic. There could be an area up there that's not insulated, but there's other areas that are insulated.
Yeah.
Because if
Famous spot, a garage.
Right, yes.
It's like, oh, it's just a garage. It doesn't
Right.
need insulation. It's not a living space.
Exactly. I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Actually. So yes, this is actually a pretty good photo. And like we said, next week we'll talk a little more about, we'll get more into the ventilation, insulation, and things of that nature. What's this one here? Looks like some ice damming going on.
Yeah, Brittany, I told Ty that he should probably become a sports broadcaster, man. He can
Yeah.
he can probably write some plays on the whiteboard.
Yeah, that's
Some X's and O's, man.
Right, that's right. So ice dam begins formulating at the last shingle, even though it's 10 degrees outside and 8 foot from the heated area, which I actually have seen this before because this is non-livable space down here. It appears to me that this looks like non-livable space down here.
Right. Almost looks like a porch or something like that.
Yeah, it is. Covered walkway. Shows the 8 feet from the wall, the snow insulated, the heated areas melted. So up in here somewhere
Yeah.
is what's going on.
So this is a good example here. I'm glad that you brought this up. So
Yeah.
we say 24 inches inside the worm wall. In this certain instance right here,
Yes.
they wouldn't be running ice and water shield up per code. But what happens then?
Right.
You get ice damming up on your porch that you like to sit on every day.
Right.
And now you got to replace, you got rotten plywood and water dripping on you while
Yes.
you're sitting on your porch. So
Right.
in that instance, you may want to run ice and water shield. up in
Exactly,
there.
just like the video we watched.
Yeah.
This is a perfect scenario
Yes.
why you would want to cover that whole entire area and go one step further. So when this roof pitch meets the main house roof pitch, okay, and it's probably a different pitch, you're going to want to get ice and water in that area,
Yep.
okay, where that transition is 24 inches inside the warm wall.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then it also looks like there's a valley over here.
Yep.
You can't use enough ice and water.
No.
You can't go wrong.
No, you and there's no such thing as overkill on it, like
No
you're
way.
saying, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if you want to just ditch the felt and just run all ice and water shield on your entire
Ben
roof,
did that.
that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I mean, it's definitely a
Right.
little more costly.
It is,
But
it's done right.
It's there. That sucker ain't leaking.
No, double wide trailers, a lot of times, okay, they have numerous leaks, especially in the wintertime, because what happens is that's like a 3 to 4 pitch roof.
Right.
Okay. We very rarely, even deck armor, felt buster, all that stuff. I don't feel comfortable enough because those underlayments don't seal when you penetrate them with a fastener. Okay.
Right.
I feel more comfortable using all ice and water on like a double wide trailer because I've seen snow set on them. They have horrible insulation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Horrible
Oh, yeah. There's no
insulation.
attic spaces.
Yeah, exactly. The ventilation's usually poor. There's a lot of hoops that we got to jump through. You know, and that's where E-vent comes into play. A lot of
Yeah.
times we got to use E-vent because they don't have a soffit down there. They have like a fascia soffit metal that's
Right.
all one. You know what I mean? And that's all clogged up with insulation and all kinds of other things like that.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend, on a double wide trailer, single wide trailer, any low slope pitch up to down to 312 pitch, and a lot of
Yeah.
times double wide trailers. That would be a good perfect scenario situation.
Yeah. And I also want to point out another one. Okay. So we were just talking about this overhang on this porch, that when it comes up, when it meets the house, it probably changes to another slope. So
Yes.
let's just say, for this example, you have a dormer, okay,
Yes.
where you don't necessarily, it's not quite low slope enough that you're going to cover it completely in ice and water shield.
Right.
So you get your 24 inches of ice and water shield along the bottom of it.
Right.
And then let's just say you got another 6 feet until your next roof transition. Okay.
Yes.
You're still going to want to run ice and water shield in that roof transition
Absolutely.
because of the change of slope.
Right.
That's a prime spot for leaks.
Right.
Where you're having that change in transition, especially on the edges there.
Yes.
Where you get that weird flashing spot.
Right.
That a lot of people don't do correctly.
No, they don't.
I mean, it requires someone with skill in sheet metal.
Right.
They got to cut multiple pieces of flashing and make them work together, and you always have that little tiny pinhole.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And a lot of people will just bend one piece in there, but that's an area that you want to cover in ice and water shield, because if your flashing fails, the ice and water shield will have you back.
Yes,
Plain and
absolutely,
simple.
absolutely, and it's, I don't want to say it's almost impossible to alleviate ice damming. There's your gutters are going to freeze. Okay, they're gonna. I've seen them where they freeze solid. It's just one big chunk of ice in the shape of your gutter. Okay, well, there's no place for that water to go. So
Right.
as it's melting and it's coming down and it's accumulating, I've seen it on those lower slope roofs back the whole way up to those roof transitions
Yep.
and leak because they weren't properly flashed with ice and water.
Right.
Metal's just not the way to go in those areas.
Yeah.
like
Some people do run metal right there, but if you're going to run metal, you should at least have ice and water shield up underneath that metal
that.
or something
First,
I mean,
then
for
put the
sure,
metal on.
yeah.
If there's some reason why you can't tie the shingles in correctly or
Right.
something.
Right.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I have a picture I want to share with you guys.
Do it.
It's from inside of an attic.
Nice.
Should come over in a second.
As soon as this sucker pops up on the screen, we have a little bit of a delay, so
Yep.
this is a good one here, man.
Yes, it
This
is.
is a good one. That is, I can't tell if that's currently frozen, but what that is, if that's not frozen, that is the beginning of mold right there. And why that's happening is because what we
Yeah.
were talking about earlier, the condensation that builds up on the surface of the underside of your
That-
sheeting
yeah,
there.
exactly.
That stuff just freezes and then thaws and then freezes and then thaws.
Yes.
Gets saturated with water, and the wood. I mean, wood sucks water in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it absorbs it.
Yeah, it absorbs
Absolutely.
it, and it will actually freeze inside, and it'll just rot.
Yes,
it'll
it
just
will.
rot. So
For sure. And from this picture, you can tell there's no baffles. I
Yep.
don't see any daylight where there would even be any vented soffit.
Yeah.
But they got their insulation, and sometimes you can over insulate your attic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what I mean by that is a lot of times people think, let's pack that ventilated area up because they're thinking, why would I want cold air blowing up in there?
Right.
Well, you actually want cold air blowing up there. Ooh. So you do want cold air blowing up. In that fresh air, you want that cooler, fresh air blowing up so you don't get the condensation or that frost. Either way, that's from condensation, like you were saying, Chris.
Yes.
That's either frost or that's the beginning of some type of growth. You got any more pictures?
I sure do. Let me
Yeah, hook us up. Let's talk about these pictures you got here, buddy.
Yeah, that's a prime example. And the funny thing is that I didn't see any nails penetrating. So I don't know if that was just thick plank that they had there, but I don't know if you noticed, but there wasn't nails
You're
there.
right.
But if there was, I'm sure you would see rusty nails.
Yes, that's
because
what I was
water is
thinking.
definitely building up on that metal. Because
Absolutely.
those nails are cold from the outside.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be one of the first spots that condensation is going to be building up
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, this one, let me center it up for you. Okay.
on. Zach, yes, we don't like that M word around here, man.
No.
It's no good.
No.
That M word is no good.
No.
I'm gonna bring you back up here. There we go.
Ooh, I see dampness on the
Oh,
exterior
yeah.
wall there. It's kind of an optical illusion. They got their floor planking ran on an angle, like it's
Mm-hmm.
diagonal there. It almost makes the roof look pitched, but actually that's the second floor is what that is. So that must be the outside wall there that's getting condensation or some type of moisture from probably a poor ventilated, insulated area of the house right there.
That right there could easily be ice damming.
Absolutely.
You know, it's going up in at your roof edge, getting up underneath there because you don't have the proper ice and water shield up
Yep.
there, and then running down the interior wall. Because once it gets into that exterior wall, I should say, it's going to run in between those studs
Yeah.
and run the whole way down, sometimes to the basement.
Absolutely.
You know, I've seen
That's
water
crazy.
standing
Me
in the
too.
basement
Me too.
on a 3-story building,
Me
and
too.
it's like
Me too.
the homeowners are scratching their head because it's like, my third floor doesn't have any water damage. My
Yes.
second floor doesn't have any water damage. My
Yes.
first floor doesn't have any water damage.
Yep.
But here I have water standing
Absolutely.
in my basement. It's running the whole way down that wall.
Yes.
And
Yes.
path of least resistance, man.
Exactly. I've seen the same exact thing
Yep.
too, and especially the way a home is built.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? With the 2x4 wall, 16 on center, that creates a cavity or a tunnel,
Yep.
a chute for that water to travel where you wouldn't see it on your third floor, your second floor. You know what I mean? You're like,
Right.
how is it getting to the basement? I've seen the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Whether it be a plumbing leak or a roof leak,
Yes.
I've seen it happen.
Yes, and then a lot of times once you trace that up, so I guarantee you in those spots where you see all that moisture up in the top there,
Mm-hmm.
if you go up to that second floor and open up that drywall, I guarantee you got mold all over the inside of those studs.
Very good
Guaranteed.
possibility. Yes.
And you'll never know it.
Right.
You never know
No,
it.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Got one more for you. I don't know if this has anything to do with ice damming or not.
Okay.
But I just love the pictures. So
Okay, let me see what this is. Vic's got a smile on his face.
I thought this was awesome.
I hope it's not Glenn.
Not for
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I can only guess.
I don't think that's ice damming, but someone needs to turn their heat on.
Yeah, it's definitely ice,
That looks like the inside of my bedroom right now, man.
right?
It's
That's
pretty
good.
cold in there.
That's a good thing. Wow, that's
Brittany
a
would
good
probably agree with me on that.
That's a
That's
good
our bedroom.
one. Yeah,
I just figured I'd share it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
that is a cool picture. Thank you for sharing that, Vic. Yeah.
Yeah, so ice and water shield. Long story
Right.
short, guys.
Yes. Very
Super important,
Yes.
man. Super important. If the roof system is not done correctly,
Mm-hmm.
they all work hand in hand.
Yes.
You don't have ice and water shield, it's bad enough, but then you combine that with improper ventilation,
Yes.
improper insulation, yeah, lots and lots and lots of bad stuff, man. Lots of bad
Exactly.
stuff. And,
Yeah.
and for the extra money that you spend running that extra course of ice and water shield versus the thousands of you're going to spend on mold remediation,
Yeah, right.
drywall repairs, painting.
Yes.
On the worst side of things, framing repairs
Right.
from
Right.
rotten studding.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've actually been on. I don't know if you remember, but we got called to a job one time where it was leaking on the exterior, and there was all kinds of framing that had to be
Yes.
done. We had to get architects in there and all kinds of crazy stuff.
That
man.
reminds me, we were on a project where their bathroom vent had been venting into their attic space for years. We need to find those pictures
I remember that.
for next week's
remember
show
that.
for ventilation
Yep.
and things that are venting in your home
Yes.
need to be vented outside
Yes.
and not into your attic
Yes.
space. That's another big myth, and I think that used to be not code back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like my early years, It was standard to throw a dryer vent just up in the attic.
Yeah.
It was standard to just throw, the hose from the bathroom vent into the attic, or just throw it out into the soffit area without actually connecting a vent to it,
Yep.
so it can reach the outside.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I remember that
we'll
one.
pull those pictures up, and what made me think of that while you were talking is not only is it damaging to your home, but it can be very damaging to your health.
Absolutely.
Your health, your family's health. If you got loved ones in the house, young children or older people, breathing in those
the mold spores.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Cannot be good for anyone's health. If you got asthma or you already have trouble, emphysema, all of those things that and if you're a smoker and you're already, asthmatic or prone to, having health issues, the last thing you need in your home is mold spores.
Yeah.
Of some kind of growth. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not all mold is black mold, by
No.
the way. You know what I mean? Typically, I very rarely will say the word mold, just because karma's a bitch, and by me throwing the word around, God
Yeah,
forbid
man.
I get the phone call tomorrow. Okay, which I probably will now. Okay, because shit happens. Doing 80 to 120 roofs a week. Unfortunately, little things happen every now and again, but not even 1%. But anyhow, long story short, get the job done right the first time. If you think there's something wrong with your home, you think you had storm damage, but you can't tell from the ground, and you don't have a ladder tall enough to get on your home, give us a call. We'll come up. We do free estimates, free inspections.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you want to get a tune-up, give us a call. We'll
$150, man. $149.
Right.
Get your pipe boots replaced. If
Yeah.
you guys remember from last week, had the life expectancy of those things.
Yes.
Unless you have a lifetime pipe boot.
Right.
From this point right now, you get a roof done right now. Within the next 5 years, you probably need to replace those pipe boots.
Absolutely.
$149. You get a $500 gift certificate for any future project with TC Backer.
That's right.
It could be for windows, it could be for a roof, it could be for siding, it could be for anything.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, you get a $500 report on your roof. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
over $1,000 in value for
Right.
$149. It'll
Right.
it'll save you that money. So not only are you getting over $1,000 worth of merchandise in your pocket,
Yes.
you're also saving money in the long run from a leaking pipe boot, from improper insulation,
Absolutely.
from improper ventilation,
Yeah,
and all
man.
that kind of stuff.
For
so, the money, you can't even really put a dollar sign on that.
No,
because
you can't.
worst case scenarios, you could be doing a lot more
Yeah.
remediation if one of those things are bad.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And it's such a great deal. Why not? Why? And again, we do free estimates, free inspections. We offer financing. We take credit cards. We have many terms, many options when it comes to financing. We have a 6, 12, and 18 month, same as cash. Worked out great for this gentleman. This guy was going to sell his house in a year. Okay, so he got an 18-month, same as cash. Okay, needed a new roof put on, wanted to get it taken care of before he sold the home. So what's going to happen is for him is, since he's selling his home within a year, he's going to sell his home. So he has no payments, no interest for 18 months.
Yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting
Oh, yeah.
down? So this guy's not even going to have to pay for his roof. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
So when he goes to sell his home, there's going to be enough money that he's going to make on his home. Not only, and one of the reasons is because he's going to increase his property value by putting a lifetime roof on his house, somewhere between 4 to 17%, automatically right there.
Yeah.
So the roof is his investment. Okay, so he increased the property value of his home. He's not going to have to pay a dime for his roof, and at the settlement table, when he collects a check, he can pay off his term.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? With no prepayment penalties.
yeah,
Dude,
gotcha.
tell me that's not hot.
That is real hot.
You
That's
know what I
real
mean?
hot.
And that's a slick way to do it. You know what I mean? And that wasn't us, that was him. He's like, I want to finance this. I plan on selling it, but I know I got to get a new roof done. He's an older gentleman. Okay. So he's afraid that if something happens to him also before now and then, he doesn't want his kids or his grandkids to have to deal with that later
Yeah.
on.
Oh, by the way, you got this 18 months, no interest, no payments done on this roof that you got to pay for, on top of having to worry about burying your loved one and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's actually smart, man.
Yeah, it was a great
That's
idea.
smart.
Yeah, I thought that he was on to something there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
right. So, thanks for the night.
Let me throw a scenario out there, and this is strictly just my lack of knowledge in the insurance world. Let's just say I'm going to throw a scenario out there and tell me how this would be handled. You go to a homeowner's house. We give them a roof inspection. They get the $149 thing. They got a $500 gift card for TC Backer. 3 years down the road, they get storm damage. They need a new roof.
Right.
All right. They call us out because they had this $500 gift card. Work with the insurance company. Get the insurance company to approve a new roof replacement. You just got to pay your $500 deductible. Can a homeowner apply that $500 towards that $500 deductible, or does that just come off of the back end of the total roofing system?
It would have to come off. It would actually be illegal.
Okay,
For us.
that's what I thought, but I just wanted to
I
clarify.
mean, there would have to be a way that legally they would have to give us the $500.
Gotcha.
Do you know what
Yep.
I mean? By law, they would
Yes.
have to. But I liked where you were going with that.
Right.
So, but we could take off, like you said, on the back end.
That's
Use
what I was thinking, but
So
I
either
asked
way-
that question out loud because just in case anyone out there was thinking, because I
Yeah.
know we always say,
Right.
you know, you can get your roof done for your
Right.
deductible, and someone might out there be churning and saying,
Right. Basically,
$500 deductible,
if you
$500
think
gift
about
card.
it, if you think about it, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, correct?
But we can't put it in writing that way.
Right.
We could, like, if it was a $6,500 roof, okay, $6,000 the insurance company would pay. They would have to pay for the deductible.
$500.
Yes, they would have to pay us $500.
Because that money's technically going to the insurance company. So
Yes.
Unfortunately, you know, Nationwide and you know farmers and all those guys, they don't take TC Backer gift cards.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I that's what I thought the answer was, but I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
For anyone out there that didn't know, that's how that works.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
Before we close this out, man, do you want to shout out our associate here that's got a birthday, that just had a birthday 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Glenn Orr, who actually joined us at the end of last year. I think it was the end of last year, right? Right before Christmas, or
Yes.
was it right after Christmas?
I don't have it with me.
I think it was right before Christmas.
Yeah.
He hopped on board.
Yes.
Had a siding, his own siding gig.
Yep.
For a long time. You know, did work for some of the same builders that we
Yep.
did.
We worked together well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He joined the team, and it was actually his 63rd birthday.
Whoa.
Whoa. No, I'm just kidding, man.
Damn,
I'm just
Lance.
kidding. I don't know how old he is,
Man,
but
you're built like a brick
he's
shit
something
house
like
for-
that. But he can still dance.
Yeah, you can.
He can still dance. If
Yeah.
anyone wants a good laugh, hop on his Facebook
He
page.
can still wear a thong like nobody's business.
He throws up some good stuff every once in a
He
while.
does.
So he's a pleasure to be around, man. Happy birthday! I hope you had a really good birthday, man. I believe that was 3 days ago. I believe you probably spent it at the beach. That was
Yeah.
Sunday, right?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Was that Sunday?
And,
Yeah.
And when was Tyler's birthday? Was that Monday?
Tyler's is Monday.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Tyler's-
Yeah. So happy birthday, Pat.
Yeah.
He's probably the real 63 right there,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. And he doesn't wear a thong now.
No, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't.
But good stuff. And I think Tom Cordell actually sent us a photo this week, so we can go over and help Racing to reunite. I almost got it, but I couldn't get it off my tongue right still. But Tom Cordell, he actually called, said he wants to come back on the show.
Awesome.
He's got some new things cooking there with those guys over there.
Yep.
Cordell Motorsports.
Yep.
And some other things that he's got cooking. So he'd like to come back on the
Awesome.
show.
Awesome.
So this is his thing right here. So Tommy sent this to us.
Yep, this is Alexander Yates. He's been missing since May 26th of this year. He's missing from, oh man, I can't read that. Ulster,
Ulster,
PA. His date of birth is April 19th, 2005. So he's 16 years old.
Yep.
It's a male, white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. He's 5'3", 120 pounds. If anyone has seen this gentleman, or you know, he might look familiar, whether you've seen him in a grocery store, seen him walking on the street, or anything like that, even if you haven't seen him, please share this out. If you feel like you may know where he is or have any kind of tips, call that hotline 1-800-THE-LOST.
Yeah.
That is I guess that's the national.
It is.
That's the national number for missing
Yep.
persons.
Yep.
Or you can call the Towanda Police Department. That number's down there underneath. If you guys would do us a favor, TC Backer family, screenshot this picture, share it on your Facebook, get it out there. If nothing else, you know, hopefully this may help his parents see that there's still a little bit of hope that people actually are still caring and looking. Because, I mean, as we all know, Tommy talked about it.
Yeah.
After the first day or two, they're on to the next one, man. There's people that go missing every couple hours, and unfortunately, there's not enough people out there to look for them. So I'd imagine this guy's family is losing sleep. So maybe we can help them put their head on their pillow at least a little bit better tonight. So hopefully we can get them found.
For sure. And thank you, Tommy, for sharing this with us tonight. And hopefully we'll see you either next week or the week after that. And Diane Brooks wants to know, she is curious about the yellow cans. That is actually a tropical Red Bull.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
This is the juice right
it
here.
is. Breakfast of Champions.
This is the juice. This is a secret.
Yes.
Unfortunately,
success.
Diane, we're gonna have to charge you for that tip there. That's a nugget that we don't get out for free.
No.
So
No,
this is what does it right here.
that's right. It'll help you grow wings.
But yeah, thank you everyone once again. This was a good episode. We're over an hour already.
Yes.
Thank you everyone once again for tuning in every week religiously.
Yes.
We'll catch everyone next week. We're going to be talking about ventilation. Unless Tommy's going to hop on next week, then we'll move the ventilation to the following week. But we
Right.
got episode 77 next week.
Yeah.
7
believe it or not.
o'clock.
Whoa.
Hopefully everyone finishes out their week's good.
Yes.
We're probably gonna be getting wet every day this week. I think the temperature's up there. We're gonna be getting those afternoon storms. Make
Yes.
sure you guys are checking out your roofs and your gutters, your siding, all that kind of stuff for the wind. If you guys need any kind of help, reach out to us. And if you guys want any information on the food drive that's happening next
Yes.
Thursday, please reach out to us.
Yeah.
The information's on the website.
Yes, reach out to us, and that would be awesome, Diane. That we definitely could use some thin koozies for our thin cans here, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
That would
Thank
be
you.
cool.
Thank you very much.
That would be cool.
Thank you for always.
You got one over there,
Yes, I
Vic.
do.
Yeah, you did.
Vic's over there, back there with the koozie.
Yeah, and as hot as it is in here,
It
we
is
could
hot.
Really,
Man. You guys can't see it, but I'm sweating right
our,
now.
our HVAC guy dropped the ball on us here a little bit. We asked him a few months ago to get us some air conditioning.
It was still cold out.
It was still cold out. So, Chris, if you're watching,
Where you at, Chris?
we're our Red Bulls are sweating in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's putting it polite.
They really are, man. They really are. We got ice damming going on, bro.
Yes, we do.
We'll catch everyone next week. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. See y'all next Wednesday, 7 p.m.